How you doing? This is Mario with Clean Cut Landscape of Metairie, Louisiana. Today I'm coming to you with some information regarding artificial turf versus an actual real lawn. Last year I did get some inquiries about installing the stuff at people's houses, and so of course I wanted to dig into it, and I got some good information. I have come across some of this artificial turf at jobs that we have done. And, I saw some stuff I did not like. Turf that was about 7, 8, 9 years old, didn't look too great. So anyway, let's get to the actual pros of this artificial synthetic turf. It looks great. No doubt it looks good. I mean, it's beautiful in a backyard. You don't have to water it. You don't have to cut it. There's no fungus, no insects. I mean, we can argue forever the pros of it. I mean, it just looks good, bottom line. It does have its place. If you want a little putting green in your backyard, that's fine. Pick a little spot, install the stuff. You'll love it. If you have a covered patio that doesn't get rain and too much sun, put it down. It'll look great. But to me, that's as far as it goes. Let's talk about the cons. I think the cons outweigh the pros as far as I'm concerned. First off, we got the cost. If you do a 20 by 30 area in a backyard, which isn't that big, just a backyard at $25 a square foot, you're roughly looking $15,000 to install this in that area, which is kind of a high cost. Not that cost is everything, because you have to pay for good quality workmanship and materials. So I'm not saying the cost is bad. I'm just saying it's kind of high in relation to what you're getting. When you look at a typical Zoysia lawn installation, front and back, you're going to be in about the $7,000 range. So there you go. You got a lot more cost associated there. Also, not a good thing about the artificial turf is there is maintenance. Don't think for a second that you're going to install this stuff, set it and forget it, and never do anything to it. There's a maintenance practices that must be followed if you want this stuff to last and look good. Let's talk about the pets. When you start dealing with pet waste on this artificial turf, you got to pick this stuff up. You can't just leave the waste there and just hose it in and think it's going to go away. It doesn't work like that. Underneath that artificial turf, there's a hard pan that they pack. So the turf can sit tight on there. So that waste just goes into the ground, and it just doesn't have anywhere to go. So you got to pick it up, bottom line. Otherwise, like I said, it's going to smell bad. Also, let's say if your dog occasionally has a little diarrhea. Well, that diarrhea is going to stain that artificial turf, depending on the quality. Once that artificial turf is stained, you can't make the color come back. I mean, there's nothing you could do besides cut out the section, call your installer, have them repair it, so you don't have a discolored area of the artificial turf. So that's not good. Also, we got to look at the drainage. These installations that I'm seeing, they are for the most part not installing drainage. Some people are, which is good. Most installations, they're just tamping the ground, grading it, they're throwing the stuff on top, they're nailing it with no regards for drainage. Don't get me wrong, some backyards drain adequately with no drainage, okay? But whether you have a real lawn like Zoysia or St. Aug or whatever, or you have artificial turf, you need drainage for it to do well. So as far as the drainage and artificial turf, the reason why it's such a big deal is because with the hard pan underneath the artificial turf, if the water is not able to permeate into the soil base, the water is going to deteriorate the fabric of the artificial turf. So when that happens, then the seams start breaking, and when you start throwing the hot July weather on there and the rain, it just takes a beating. So that's why I think the stuff isn't too good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, the stuff can last. I mean, the lifespan of it is generally 8 to 15 years, okay? It could go longer if you've got a high quality turf and you've got proper installation, which you have to try to get the proper installations really critical, and that's kind of tough. So you also got to look at that. So the bottom line, after looking at this stuff, I just don't find there's enough pros to make me want to get into this and feel that it's a good, long-lasting product for my customers. I mean, the way I look at this stuff is, look, at some point, you're going to be pulling this stuff up, you're going to throw it in the dumpster, and you're going to wish you never got rid of your nice lawn. Okay, so there's nothing like a fresh green lawn. Smells good. It's just natural. It's great for the environment. So that's just my educated opinion. I know other people could argue that theirs last and their brother-in-law and all that stuff. I get it, okay? Bottom line is, after what I've seen at job sites and what I've investigated, I've determined that I do not recommend artificial turf as a long-term solution for your landscape needs. There are other options. If you got a shaded area, you can create walkways. You can expand the landscape. There's a lot of creative ideas that we can provide to make those areas look great without putting plastic and rubber on your property. So anyway, just something for you to think about. If anybody has any questions, please give me a call, Mario, at 504-415-1438. Or visit our website at cclanddesign.com. And lastly, let's keep it real. Seriously. Have a good evening.